Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to play around with a lot of fun new HTV, new to me at least. Teckwrap sent me over a really fun box of heat transfer vinyl that I'm excited to show you. And in a little bit, I'm gonna have you vote on what product we're going to use next because they sent two products over that are really neat, but I wanted to put those into individual videos so that we could spend a little bit more time with them. So before that, I wanted to show you what they sent over, and then we are going to create 6 fun things today and just have fun with HTV. I love HTV. Okay, so HTV is heat transfer vinyl. You need heat to apply it, but we have some fun, and I've opened some of these because I wanted to have them cut and ready, but we have some more solid HTV rolls. And let's see, I think I have one more. Okay, and then I have a purple. So I will list the colors down below, but look how pretty these colors are. I love them. And then we have some more, I think this is what they call their metallic. Yes, metallic. And I opened up their, I think this is their rose gold. Isn't that pretty? Let me see if that'll focus. Yep. And then we have this pretty blue. And one more, we have, this one is a fuchsia. Okay, let's see if I can get all of these in here. Aren't they pretty? And everything has cut out so beautifully. I will say, inside their rolls, they have this really nice guide that not only helps you with the cut settings, but also helps you with the heat settings. So dependent on what iron-on or HTV you're using, you'll see all of the different kinds that they have here. But then they're gonna go through the cutting machines that you can cut them on and what those cut settings look like. And then over here, you'll see all of the heat instructions. And if you don't see this in a roll for some reason, they have this on their website. So I always keep this up on my computer so that I can see for cut settings which setting I need to do. Okay, and then we have a really pretty glitter iron-on, and this is lavender and neon green. How pretty are those? Super fun. Okay, also I did open up their white, and we're gonna be using this today. This is really pretty too because it has, let's see if we can focus on it. It has a really almost, I don't know, like iridescent-y look to it. It's just pretty. It has a lot of fun little colors in there. Sorry for my voice. I am still so congested from being sick. And yesterday, my girls tested positive for influenza A. So we were healthy for a couple days, and now we are going back down again. So I'm hoping it doesn't spread too much into the family, but I just feel all of the congestion starting. Okay, and then we have, okay, this is going to be something, hold on, we're gonna vote on that. So I'm gonna save that for a second. Okay, some tools that they sent over. I actually asked them to put this in the box for me because they have a weeding pen in pink. How cute is that? When I saw it on their site, I knew I had to have it because I tried out their weeding pen when I was trying out their vinyl recently, and I actually started getting the hang of using it, and I really liked it for small and intricate things. But when I saw that they had a pink one, you know I had to have it. Okay, and then they also did send over their cute little, my kids keep calling it the little bumblebee. They keep coming to my craft room and asking about this little bumblebee. But look at this fun little mini press, and it looks like a bee. Isn't that fun? So we are going to be pressing some non-traditional things today. And for non-traditional things that, you know, don't really fit under a heat press or an easy press, it's really nice to have something like this. So we'll unbox this and see how we like that. Okay, so we're also going to vote on what we want to see next because the other two things that they sent over, I feel like they would be better in their own video so we can take some more time and go through design space with them. So one of the things that they sent over was a UV glitter iron-on in pink and in purple. And what this does is right now it just looks like a regular iron-on in the nice white color, and then when it comes into contact with the sun, it changes into the color that the label says. So for instance, this one is going to be pink, and then this one will be purple. How cool is that? Especially for kids shirts. I think that would be super fun. Okay, so that is one of the options. We're going to do both of them, but I just want to see which one you want me to do first. The other one, and I'm really excited about this, I told them I really wanted them to send this over, was their heat transfer paper. So this is some HTV that you can print on, which is really neat. Then you can cut it out with your cutting machine, and then you can lay it down like you would a heat transfer and place it on either a shirt or a bag, anything that you would use a heat transfer on. So I'm really excited about this, super excited. So here is where we need to vote. So before we start crafting today, I want to know if you want, let's see, what should we call them? Okay, so we can vote for the printable HTV, or we can do the color changing HTV. So let me know down below, go real quick, because I will be watching that to see what you want to do next. Again, we will do both because I get a lot of people saying, but I want both, but I want both. I'm just voting on what we want to do first. So go ahead and place your vote. All right, now we are going to start crafting. So again, I have a lot of fun things that I'm going to show you today. Everything has cut out beautifully. Again, I was definitely relying on the cut settings that were provided. That way I was given some direction on what to use, and we're going to create some really fun things. All right, go ahead and give this a thumbs up if you are ready to craft, and let's go ahead and play around with this fun new HTV. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to play around with some of their solid iron-on. And I didn't mention in the beginning because I was showing the rolls, but they also did send over this pastel sheet pack. So I'll show you the colors that are available there. So we have this nice purple, blue, green, yellow. There's the green, yellow. We have an orange, kind of more of a peach, and then the pink. So I pulled some of the colors from this collection. Again, that's the pastel pack. And I'm going to go ahead and do a reverse canvas with them. So these colors do also come, however, in the 4 rolls that I showed earlier. So these are some of the colors they sent over, but some of them are from the pastel collection as well. Okay, so let me move these right off to the side, and I'm going to open up this cutie pink weeding pen. I'm so grateful they sent this over. Okay, so we're gonna do a fun little reverse canvas, and I have my heat press all started, so it needs a little bit to heat up, and I still have to get my feet wet with the pin pen because I have for years been using a traditional weeder, and my goodness, it just takes a little bit of time because your muscle memory wants to do something completely different. So, but I do love the idea of this. Again, especially for the more delicate things. So there's our first little one, and then we're doing something super colorful. Now there will be a little bit of iron-on wasted here because I went ahead and attached my like colors. That way it would make it just a little bit easier to get everything positioned in the right spot. So you'll see a couple little blank spaces on each of my sheets. And if you don't want to, waste any, which I hardly do, but sometimes just the project calls for it, you don't have to attach the letters together or the designs together. You can cut these out individually and then just manually place them on your project. Okay, so this is what this is going to look like, and I'm just going to kind of arrange it for us so that we can get an idea. So I'm going to do the purple first because it has the longest width. That way we know how to center it when it's time to put it on our canvas. And actually for this, it probably won't matter too much because of, we're going to end up putting a framer on the canvas in a little bit. Okay, so something like that. And then something like this. So I might need to rearrange, let's see here, just so that gets lined up a little bit better. There, I think that looks good. And then for the O, we have our cute flower. Okay, so that'll be something like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll leave these together, but I will lay these down individually on my project. But let's go ahead and prep the canvas portion. Let's get this up here. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out for a little bit, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove the canvas from our frame. So I'm gonna grab a craft knife, and I'm gonna go on the outside of the staple, and I'm gonna simply cut this away. So let's cut, and go all the way around. Now you may need to put some additional pressure in the corners because that's where the folded canvas will be. So it's gonna be a little bit thicker there. And I just keep my craft knife out the whole time that I'm trying to remove this, because more often than not I need to cut a little bit more as I go. Okay, so once that is scored there, around there, then you want to be careful that you don't rip your canvas, because we are going to reuse this. I'm going to go all the way around and just remove it from my frame. Okay, and there is our frame. Now, this is what we are going to put our iron-on on. So I'm going to set this to the side, because really quickly I'm just going to go through and clean this up. And that just means for me just tearing all of these little strips off. Okay, so this canvas, because not all canvases have a nice frame underneath. So if you find one that you don't necessarily love, then just note the brand, note the store, and then try something different next time. That's happened to me before too. Some brands, you know, they don't have anything nice underneath. It's just not a nice frame. So this one is really nice. This is from Target, so I'll link these down below. I bought them in, I think, an 8 or 10 pack, and I'm so happy with them. Plus, they just look so substantial. I really, really like them. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, let's clean this up. I'm going to take my canvas over to my heat press, and I'm going to pre-press this. That will just make sure it's nice and flat. And then I'm going to take, I think I said my purple layer first. So I'll just peel these layers off from the bottom and then individually lay these down. Now, in between each press, I'm going to make sure that I cool the iron-on down, and then I'm going to peel it away before I do the next layer. That way it just keeps my HTV safe. So let me go ahead and get started pressing this on. Okay, so my heat press is still heating up, so I did go ahead and do the pre-press. You can do a pre-press while it's heating up. It doesn't need to be at temperature. But while it's heating up, let's go ahead and unbox this, because I want to go ahead and use it in our next little craft. Okay, let's see, where is this opening here? Oh, right here. Okay, grab my craft knife once again to open this up. Okay. And, oh, cute. Look how cute that is. My kids have been so excited to see this, because again, it's a little bumpy. So fun. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this on out. Oh, it looks like it has a little bag that is included with it. That's nice to have it to store. Okay, and then it feels like there are some things inside of here. So inside we have, oh fun, there are little iron-on designs that are included. How cute are these? Ooh, I love this one. How fun. Oh, I love that. Okay, it looks like there's another one too. Okay, I'm loving that bunny. I'm gonna have to do something with that. And then we have a little user manual here. So let's see how this works. It looks like, let's go ahead and plug this in to see how the temperature settings work. Okay, so it looks like on the front there is a button, and if you press it for 3 seconds, it'll turn it on and off. Okay, so there we are. Then you can choose high, medium, or low. And then the high, medium, or low temperatures, I know that's really small down there, but they are all listed in the manual. So you'll just need to select your heat that you know, the range that you're wanting to be around, and then that will help you determine whether you want the high, the medium, or low. And I think you can just toggle through just like that. Okay, so why don't I set mine, I'm gonna set mine to maybe medium, and then when you're not using it but it's turned on, of course, you're gonna wanna keep it in this little base. All right, so that's all prepped and ready to go. Of course, you'll want to look at your user manual, read that thoroughly before you get started. Okay, let's go see if my heat press is all ready to go so we can start the canvas. Okay, so I individually laid those down, and then in between each of the presses, I made sure that the iron-on cooled all the way down, and then went ahead and peeled away and did the next layer. So here is our final one. Now, you saw me continuously use that first sheet, and that's because I wanted to make sure that my iron-on was always protected from my heat source. So I always made sure to, you know, like for example, putting this down, I didn't want the rest of my iron-on just to be exposed to the actual heat, so I covered it just to protect it. Okay, so there is our design. How cute. Now what we're going to do is we're going to finish this off by reframing it. So I'm going to frame this like I would like. That looks pretty good. And this is one of those designs where it's kind of flowy, so it's hard to get it completely straight, but that looks pretty straight at the bottom with those letters and at the top, so I think I'm gonna go with that. Okay, this is how I like to do a reverse canvas, but feel free to approach it anyway. What I do is I just take a pen and I just trace along the outside, being careful not to get pen on my frame. I've done that before. It's not very fun. Oops. And then I'll go ahead and cut this out. Okay, so that part's done. Remove my frame. And then with some scissors, I'm gonna go about 1/4 of an inch inside of that line. That way, my canvas is not peeking out the edge of my frame. Just trim all the way around. And I love doing these because they're not expensive to do. And well, in material, it's not expensive to do, and you can create such a fun, chic look. You can also just place your iron-on right on the canvas as well, instead of deconstructing it and, you know, having it with the frame on the outside. You can do whatever you wish, but it makes such a difference to take the time to do the reverse. So it just depends on what style you're going for, right? Okay, so throw those pieces away. There's that. Now, you can use thumbtacks, you can use staples. I like to use hot glue, so I'm going to go ahead, take the cap off. I'm going to start my glue, get it heated up. And then what I'll do is I'm just gonna place a bead of glue along the top. I'll get it centered, and then I'm going to turn it over and get all of the other edges all glued down. So I'm just waiting for that to heat on up. Oh, and in the meantime, this is chiming because it looks like it may have auto turned off, so that's wonderful. I'll have to look at the directions to see if that's what that did, but that's great. Although I do think I will use that in the next craft, so I'm going to again press it for 3 seconds to turn it back on, and then I'm actually going to go on low. Let's see, low. Okay, so we'll let that preheat again. Won't take long because it was just on. This is all ready to go. So again, I'm going to add my glue just to the top of the canvas. Center that. Looks good to me. Then I'm going to press that down. I'm going to pull this over or flip this over. Okay, and then I like to go to the opposite end. So since I started at the top, the next side will be the bottom. That way I can pull this really taut So I can pull, 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 place that down, and then I like to really pull that out additionally with my thumbs there. Okay, and then I can just do the left and the right. Let's see here if I can peek under here. And add my hot glue. I love this hot glue gun because it has a continuous flow, so as long as the button is pressed down, you're not having to pump the glue out. It just keeps coming. So it makes for really nice crafting. Okay, and then opposite side. Go this way so I can see. But I will say my other hot glue gun has more of a precision tip, which for the reverse canvases, or if you're ever needing to kind of get into a tighter spot, that can be really helpful. Okay, so should be good. If you need to trim off any areas that are getting close to the edge, you certainly can. I also should mention that if you wanted to take the step to remove the staples, you can as well. It's up to you. Okay, but there is our first project. Isn't that pretty? And super easy, super affordable. And then I love all of the colors. So again, this was from the pastel pack. And as always, everything will be linked down below. Okay, let's turn this off. Let's go ahead and use the new little bumblebee. So let's bring that on in. It's still flashing the red, so it's not quite preheated yet. Can you see the little flashing light? Okay, so I'm gonna wait for that to preheat, but let's get our next project all ready. So first idea for applying iron-on. Ooh, perfect timing. There it goes, a little tiny chime, and it turned green. First idea for what you can apply HTV onto would be a reverse canvas. So let's see what else we can put HTV on. Okay, this one I'm personally excited about because I need some organization in my bag for all the lip gloss and lip balms and all that kind of stuff. So I went and bought this at Hobby Lobby recently, and it's been sitting in my must-do pile. And when I saw their glitter iron-on, I knew this would be a fun project to get done. So fun little items like this, little bags, totes, stuff like that are really, really fun ideas for applying iron-on. Okay, this time I'm going to do the glitter, and actually, let me see about my time and temp for a glitter would be 310 for 10 or 12 to 15 seconds. I might be able to bump that up to medium, but let me grab my directions. Okay, so 310 would be in the medium range. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and then it went to medium, turned back to red because now it needs to preheat to medium. And then I also was going to check about the auto off. Auto shut off after 10 minutes of inactivity. Okay, so it does have auto off. I love that. One thing that does not have auto off in my house is my straightener, and that just drives me crazy and gives me so much anxiety. So I love an auto off feature. Okay, it chimed again, so it's preheated to medium. And I'm going to do a glitter smiley face with the little heart eyes. Okay, let's grab, I'm just going to grab a little cloth here that I like to just put on the inside because it's kind of hard to put a non-traditional ironed item onto an ironing board or something like that. So I'm going to put something inside, that way I can protect my hands, but also I can place a kind of firm barrier there. And I am simply preheating the material just to make sure there's no moisture locked into the material, and it's all ready to go. How cute is that? So cute. Okay, then I'm going to place my iron-on down. And one thing that's great about this, also I should mention, I use the term iron-on and HTV interchangeably. So HTV again is heat transfer vinyl or an iron-on. So just wanted to mention that because they're one and the same. Okay, one thing about HTV or iron-on though is that it's not permanent until you press it. So I can keep moving this, which is really nice compared to adhesive vinyl, because adhesive vinyl, once you stick it, it's down. So it's nice that you can just get this where you need it, and then once the heat is applied, then it's permanent down there. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my press and I'll just press all over and monitor my project as I go. You can see that it's laying down. All right. So I did that for about, gosh, maybe 10 seconds. And yours may need more, may need less. Always monitor your own project. I'm going to remove the cloth because it's retaining a lot of heat, and then I'm going to place this on my cold craft mat to cool that down. Okay. There we go. And once it's cool, I'll go ahead and remove. I'll monitor all the edges to make sure nothing is coming up. If you do have any areas that are coming up, you simply can just lay your protective sheet right back down and then apply more heat. And one great thing about having a mini press like this is that say you had a corner over here that wasn't quite laying down, you can just do applied heat to that area and do a little contact heat instead of reheating your entire project. So that's always nice too. Plus with something like this, you can iron on very easily to things that are harder to put in a heat press. And we're gonna do something else in a little bit as well, but I love how that turned out. It's so cute. Again, it has a little zipper on there. I've used these pouches in several projects because they're so nice and they are so versatile for what you can use them for. Other things I've done with these are a snack bag that is really helpful, and then an emergency aid kit. All of those are really good ideas if you're trying to build a beach bag or a diaper bag. Okay, so let's put this to the side. In fact, I think the next project though, I'm going to do the metallic chrome, and that is 320 or yeah, 275 to 300. And sorry, this is a little small, but it's really big on their website. So I want to look at this again to see what setting that would be. And I think we're going to end up cooling it down. So let's go ahead and cool that down to low. So I'm gonna take it, it's gonna toggle up to high because that's the next setting, but I'll just click it once more to go right back down to low. Okay, flashing red again because it needs to reach the desired temperature. Put this away and let me grab my next project. Okay, I am wishing for spring so much right now, especially with officially catching the flu this year. So, influenza A has reached our home, and there are just some nasty bugs out there this year. So I know a lot of you, we were talking because I had been sick for a while, and so many of you were sharing your stories too about if you had caught anything during this winter season, and it sounds like a lot of people have been getting some germs. So we're gonna do something that just gives us some hope for spring. Now, I wanted to not weed this completely because I wanted to show you this is really, really fine in detail. So I wanted to show the pin pen and how that can be really helpful for a project like this. So we are going to go ahead and place some HTV onto wood next. And I'm just going to ever so gently go into the middle areas because the middle of each of these leaves has a tiny little spot that needs to come out. Okay. And another thing that you can do, which is really helpful, is because the liner is sticky, you can actually just stick all of your weeded out scraps onto the side. That way it just makes it easy to get those off of your weeder and contain them so they're not all over your craft room. Oops, sorry. Forgot I zoomed in there. That's super helpful. Now, one thing you'll want to do is you'll want to make sure that you remove them before it's time to heat your iron on them. Okay, so there we go. And I am still, again, getting my feet wet with the pin pen, but I'm finding if I push away, it's a little bit easier for me to kind of grab the piece. I also should mention they have a variety of colors, so be sure to check them out because they have more than just pink. Okay, so now, like I said, I was just kind of putting these on my corners of my transfer, that way I could contain them, but then I just go through with some scissors and trim those pieces off. Okay, then we can put these in the garbage and they're nice and contained. Okay, now this did chime saying that it is ready to go at the low. And what I'm going to do is center this where I'd like it. Okay, this is the metallic Isn't this so pretty? So the metallic, they have this rose gold, I believe, but I'll link it down below. They also have, they have tons, but the ones they sent me were this chrome mint. That's a pretty color as well. And then we have the Tiffany blue, and we have the fuchsia. Aren't they pretty? Okay, so that is the chrome, let's see, what's it called? The chrome HTV, which is super cool. Okay, now I'm going to simply gently, and this usually on wood does not take much time at all. So you want to make sure you really are monitoring your project because it can take a lot less time than you think. And I found these blanks on Amazon. They came in a huge pack as well. Some of them were a little bit kind of bunged up, but that's okay. They're individually wrapped, which is nice. But they're neat because you could either do this side or you could do a framed version on the other side. I don't think my press, yeah, my press wasn't really gonna fit that way, so I decided to do this way. But I love this option because they're already distressed for you. And they're just the perfect size for a fun little item. Okay, I'm gonna take a peek to see how that did. It's doing pretty good. I'm gonna add a little bit more. And like I've been doing, I'm going to turn this over and just draw out that heat. Cool it down real quick, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and start peeling off. I see a little problem area down here, so I'm gonna add a little bit more heat right on that little vine area. Again, a really nice part about having a mini press. You can just do individual areas. Okay, let's cool it down. Okay. And I'll attempt another peel. Monitoring everything as I go. I have one more little area there. Add a little bit more heat. Just giving a little bit more attention to the leaf areas. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and just add a little bit more heat on a couple little areas. Okay, peel that away, and there is our sign. Now, let me see if you can see how that plays with the light, that metallic look. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Very fun and a nice little piece of decor for springtime. So that's another idea. I love doing HTV on wood. I'm gonna reheat one more of these little flowers up here. It looked like it was lifting a little bit. Okay, there we go. But another fun idea is the wood. I really like doing that, and I've done it time and time again. It's always really fun. All right, times you would maybe want to do this is if you truly want it to be permanent, because you can remove the adhesive vinyl if you really want to. I do that all the time with my projects if I want to reuse a blank or if I'm just tired of the decor. So you could use the iron-on if you want it to be more permanent. Another thing is if you simply had the color in the iron-on that you didn't have in the vinyl. So sometimes you might have the color that you want in your mind and you're looking through your drawer and you only have iron-on. Perfect, it can go on wood, easy peasy. All right, there's another fun idea. Okay, I want to go back to the glitter for a moment because I've had this design saved for a while now, and I also have this tote bag that I got from Hobby Lobby. Super fun. I'm going to trim that off. I love the color, but let me remove this real quick and let's grab our pin pen and start weeding out. So I'm going to use that white glitter once again. Don't forget to go down into the comments and let me know what project you want to do next. Do you want to explore the color changing glitter iron-on, or did you want to try working with the printable iron-on? Both are going to be super fun. Super, super fun. So I just want to know what you guys want to do first, and I'll get on it. Okay, this is a very cute file that says Fiction Addiction, which I think is so funny. And I think it's, let's see, it is February 27th today. I think we're tiptoeing into March when this video goes out, but I think I'm on book 21 or 22. So I mentioned that I'm trying to get to 100 this year. I'm doing pretty good. One thing I did accomplish was I got over my fear of audiobooks this year, and I am finding them to be very enjoyable. I prefer to sit down and read, but if a book that I've wanted to read is on audiobook, it's not as scary anymore. But I always prefer to sit down and read just because, I don't know, I think I just take in the book a little bit differently when I can sit down and read. But on the flip side, I can get so much done when I have an audiobook on, especially when I'm getting to a good part in the book and I don't want to stop. I always find that I'm like, okay, does laundry need folded? Do I need to make some beds? I'm always trying to find something to do so that I can feel productive and still listen. So I'm enjoying it. Now, same process, we're going to go to the heat press. I'm going to pre-press my tote bag, and then I'll press this iron-on down. One thing I'm really loving about this iron-on is the quality. It's noticeably different than what I've used in the past. Another thing I want to mention is that the time and temp are much less than the iron-ons I've used in the past. I think some of these you're only pressing for about 10 to 15 seconds, so that's really wonderful. And again, you do have your little cheat sheet here, but I'm really, really liking the low press times as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get this placed on our tote bag. Wouldn't this be a fun book bag? I love this idea. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that over, help draw the heat out. Love this pretty color. Again, this was Hobby Lobby. I think it was around $2. $2 and some change. Okay, that's nice and cooled down. And then, oop, I have a couple areas. You know, and this is a little bit harder because, oh, this side did pretty good. I need to get it really, really flat on my heat press. So let me go back over there, and I'm going to position it differently on my heat press so that I don't have my folded bottom on there. And if we go to peel it off and we're still having problems, that is when a little mini press comes in handy. Sometimes when you have bulky items, it's hard to get a really flat press. So bulky items on either end on this particular bag would be the handles. Just doesn't allow the clamp to get a really, really even press. But let's see how we did, just kind of shifting it a little bit. Okay, that looks great. Oh, it just needed a tad bit more heat and a little reposition. Good to go. Now, if I was seeing any areas that were proving to be difficult, then again, I could keep my sheet, place it back over, and then I could apply some additional heat in those areas that needed a little bit of help laying down. But how pretty is that? And it really has a fun look to that glitter. It's not just a white glitter. It has a lot of different fun colors in there as well. Okay, there's another fun idea of what you can do with heat transfer vinyl. You can make fun bags. And now I'm going to show you how you can do this on paper. Okay, so I have my paper and my iron-on. I found this photo holder at the Target dollar spot, and we got some for my daughter. So I'm using this as an example. But she got a Polaroid camera for her birthday and is loving it. So we got some fun little photo holders for her. But I want to trim this down a bit. So this is simply 80-pound cardstock, and I'm going to trim this to 3.5 by 2.5. Okay, here we are. Now, I am going to weed this out. I found a fun little design. So this could be a photo holder. You could put a little fun little quote in there too. But I am using that nice pink again. I love their color of pink. It just feels so nice. I love this. Very impressed. Okay, so taking all of the surrounding areas out first, and then I'm gonna go through and get the middles out. Okay, last little one. So now I'll just trim this down. Okay, and I believe I still have my press on low. Yes, I do. Bring that cutie back in, throw those away. And I have my little desktop ironing board here. Okay, so I'm gonna take my paper, place it right there, grab my little girl power, isn't that cute? And I'm gonna bring it up a little bit only because, and then again, you can lay it down and reposition it later. That looks pretty good, but only because of the little clamp that we have. That looks good down here. So I want it to be able to be centered while, or so that you can be able to see it and not have it be covered up. So I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. Okay, then I'm going to take my heat, and I have it again on low. Just a little bit of heat there. You can probably heat it from the back as well. Okay. And then I'm going to cool it down. It does not take much time to do the iron-on paper. Okay. And then you want to be gentle here because you are ripping away from, or peeling away from paper, so paper is really delicate, but absolutely zero problems. And I want to say I did probably, 5 to 8 seconds there. So very, very easy and a fun way to, again, do designs. Now, another reason you may want to grab an iron-on instead of a adhesive vinyl is if you had a super delicate design. Sometimes I personally find that iron-on is easier for me to weed if it has an intricate design than it is for adhesive vinyl. So just another thing to think of. If I have a really detailed design and I know that the item I want to put it on is compatible with an iron-on, then I go ahead and just opt for a heat transfer vinyl. All right, cute. I love that. Okay, one final thing. I want to make a shirt. Shirts are one of the most popular things to do with heat transfer vinyl. So I want to bring in this metallic once more. And I have a shirt here. I think I got this from Walmart. It's for my daughter, and I want to give her a little something to perk her up because she is not feeling too hot right now. So I'm going to use this metallic one. I have been wanting to make this shirt for her forever, and I told her, I said, I'm going to make that shirt for you today, and she really was excited. So let's go ahead and begin weeding. So I did the rose gold once again. So fun. And I'm gonna go ahead and just weed out all of my surrounding areas. Oh, isn't it just pretty? I love this look. Right, it weeds beautifully. Again, I did the recommended cut settings that were on that sheet because this is new iron-on to me. I wanted to make sure I took all of the advice so I knew which cut settings to use, and they worked beautifully. Okay, now this is cute. It says, just a girl who loves dogs. Very fun. I'm gonna go through and delicately grab all the middle pieces out. Goodness. I am currently drinking so much water, washing my hands like crazy, and see if I can stay healthy. So 2 of my kiddos tested positive for the flu, but I'm thinking my little boy is starting to come down with it as well because he took almost a 3-hour nap today, and that has not happened. Oh, well, I don't even think ever for him. He's not a huge napper, so oh my goodness, give us some prayers. Okay, just a girl who loves dogs. Let's go ahead and take this over to the heat press and press this on. Okay, let's let that cool down. Draw out that heat. Okay. And again, peeling. Oh, I might need just a little bit more heat. For the most part, it's really good. I'm gonna give it just a tad bit more. I have a couple edges that aren't seeming as confident as I want them to, so I'm just gonna go give it a little bit more heat. All right, I gave that a couple more little zaps there. I'm gonna cool that down. And peel from this side this time. Okay. So a couple little areas that are lifting, but you know what I'm going to do, which I have found to be helpful, is to, if you can, completely remove your transfer and then put some butcher paper over so that, there we go, so that when the butcher paper comes off, you're not tugging on it. So I'm gonna get this all off because it's, for the most part, really, really down. Oh, that's so pretty. And I'm just gonna add some butcher paper to the top. That way when I go to peel it next, it's not tugging because of the sticky. So let me go put butcher paper on it and give it a little bit more heat, and those will be good as new. Oh, those edges look really good now. Again, because you can just take the paper right off without any tugging. So that looks awesome. Okay, goodness, so many fun things. I loved working with their iron-on. I felt like it worked really well. I loved the quality and gave you a lot of ideas of what you can do with iron-on. So you can make canvases, things like bags and shirts. You can even apply it to paper, which is really awesome. And then of course the wood, which gives you a lot of options, super fun. And then if you have a press that is a non-traditional press, such as this cute little mini, it makes it so much easier to apply it to items that are harder to put in a traditional heat press. So we were able to complete this little cutie pie with the little mini press. All right, hopefully you enjoyed watching this and got a couple of tips or inspiration for what you want to do in your craft room next. And I'll see you on the next video.